A story came out the other day that piqued my interest a little bit about Joe Manchin. Apparently he was asked, like, hey, are you interested in running for president? And he didn't say no. And he sort of played footsie with the idea, and that made my eyebrow go up like, what exactly is going on here, Joe? Well, since then, he now did an interview with CNN. He's asked about it again. And Wolf Blitzer, for the first time in his life, actually presses somebody a little bit and tries to dig and tries to get a little more information. Let's watch the exchange, and then we'll talk about it.
I know you were asked over the weekend, Senator, if you would endorse Joe Biden if he runs for re-election. And you said you wanted to see who all the players are and that you won't be making an announcement until the end of the year. That didn't sound as like a yes to me. Why not?
Well, I think it was very clear. I'm not going to make a political decision for myself until the end of the year. There's so much work to be done now. You just mentioned... Let me
interrupt for a moment. So you're thinking of challenging him for the Democratic presidential nomination?
I'm basically saying that I will not make a political decision until the end of the year, any way and anything you want. I haven't taken anything off the table, haven't put anything on the table. I'm concerned about my country. I have 1 year here, still yet to do a job. We got 2 years before the election, and in America, the only place I know that starts 2 years in advance on election and just beats the living pulp out of people. Let's do our work. Let's make sure that we address the debt we have. Let's make sure we address the crisis on the border. Let's make sure that the geopolitical unrest that we have, that we can help support our allies, and let's make sure that we have energy security. These are things we have to work on.
Debt, border, Ukraine, and energy security, which in his mind means oil and gas, because he's paid by the oil and gas industry more than anybody else, by the way. Look at the list of policy issues that he's like, this is my agenda. That's astonishing. Nothing about corruption, of course, because he loves the corruption. He's swimming in the corruption. He is corrupt. He's been legally bribed by all these industries. Nothing about income and wealth inequality. Nothing about climate change. All the things he lists are like, it's like a litany of more right-leaning issues, save Ukraine, which I think is more than just a right issue, but the debt stuff, for sure. All this debt fear-mongering, by the way, that's all that's all a sleazy car salesman way of saying we got to cut Social Security and Medicare. Not, hey, we have to cut military spending. Not that. Not, hey, we need to, raise taxes on the wealthy. Not that. That's all about, like, these entitlements, bro, they're out of control. Look at the list of issues that he's concerned about. It's unbelievable. All right, hold on. Let me run it back a touch.
We have. Let's make sure we address the crisis on the border. Let's make sure that the geopolitical unrest that we have, that we can help support our allies, and let's make sure that we have energy security. These are things we have to work on.
Very quickly, Senator, are you leaving the door open to a possible run for the Democratic presidential nomination?
I'll make no decisions on anything until the end of the year. That's all I can say, Wolf.
All right.
I'm not even thinking about politics. I'm thinking about doing my job.
That is politics, you absolute fool. That's literally politics. That's what it is. He's so annoying. He's got this, like, fake above the fray thing that just drives me crazy. Look, here's the thing. He is thinking about running, which is astonishing, but it's true. Because here's how a politician answers if he's not thinking about running. Hey, are you thinking about running? No. That's how you say no. That's it. You know who did that the other day? Bernie Sanders. Him and Bill Maher were talking on Real Time, and at the end of the interview, Maher asked, hey, you're releasing a book. A lot of people release a book before they run for office. Are you thinking about running for office? And he was like, no. So that means no. That's what that means. But he didn't say no. He kept swatting it aside, turning into Neo from the Matrix. So Joe Manchin is actually thinking about running for president. That's incredible. Because I've never seen a Democrat more out of touch with the Democratic base than Joe Manchin. I've never seen it before, ever. I mean, the dude, he literally votes 50% of the time with Republicans. And you want to talk about, I mean, I know Trump calls Ron DeSantis sanctimonious. You want to talk about sanctimonious. This guy is the most sanctimonious of any politician I've ever seen. And so he would get up there in a Democratic debate for president. He'd be like, oh, hey, why can't we all just get along? And why can't we just hold hands? And why can't we just do things together? Things that the big money donors and the billionaires and corporations want. See, that's the thing about him that drives me crazy, is that he masks his corruption as like high-minded, principled centrism. It's like, no, you're not the most centrist. You're just the most corrupt. You're just the Democrat who listens the most to industry. That's what you are. And he always screws over his own constituents in West Virginia. Always, always, always. And so, look, I kind of want to see him run. I'm not going to lie. Because I don't think... I mean, on the one hand, no, I do prefer just Biden versus Marianne Williamson. Like, I do kind of prefer that. But on the other hand, I mean, you get the idea that if Manchin is going to take votes from anybody, it's probably going to be Biden. That it's not going to be Marianne, right? So, I don't know. Maybe it is the way to go. But sometimes politics is weird, and sometimes in a weird way, maybe you would take away from Marianne. Because sometimes people are not all that ideological sometimes. And, there could be a pool of Biden voters and then a pool of not Biden voters in a Democratic primary, and it could be that Marianne and him split it. But it is kind of hard to imagine that, because if people are even a little bit ideological, which I kind of think they are to some extent, right, then it wouldn't go that way, and Manchin would take from Biden, which could help Marianne. So I don't know. I don't know. But him running would be hilarious. He'd be a fish out of water, totally out of his depth, just incapable of giving anybody in the Democratic primary an answer that they would like. You know, it's just, he's in no way, shape, or form economically populist, which Democratic voters prefer. Duh. $15 minimum wage, universal health care, etc. But he's also, on social issues, the most conservative of any Democrats. So he wouldn't even be able to make up for his lack of economic populism with, like, I'm really with you guys on abortion. He wouldn't even be able to do that. So it would be a colossal train wreck, and I'd love to see it. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.